Hello and a very good morning to you. This is the AM show live on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Yesterday we were here with the grand premiere. Today we're here on the second day. Today is the 5th of March 2013. Still a little over 24 hours to the grand event when Ghana was born some 56 years ago. Today on the AM show we have a jam-packed show for you. We have lots of segments and lots of programs to come your way every weekday morning from 5:50 to 9 a.m. My name is Francis Haban. I'm doing this together with Mama Via Boaje. She'll be joining me shortly, and we will have a beautiful, illustrious show. Today, I'm sure you know by now that the budget will be read in Parliament by the Finance Minister. Also, some leading stories in the headlines this morning in the newspapers. The MPP has written to the Supreme Court about that election petition. We'll be giving you details of all of that. Plus, some business news for you, lifestyle, showbiz. My banner, Mama V will bring you something on. I know all of you have been struggling with the use of LPG these days. It's in short supply now, and people are struggling with it. We'll be telling you what are the options, why we are where we are today, and what should be the viable alternative we should be looking at. And we'll be bringing you also AM Talk today. We'll be taking 3 topical issues that we will discuss. It's a jam-packed show. It's a roller coaster. It promises to be fulfilling and juicy and appealing. My name is Francis Haban. Once again, you're welcome to the AM show. Now, let's go for our motivational message shortly. Well, it's often said that the difference between the ordinary and the extraordinary is that little extra something. Now, the motivational quote this morning is on creativity. Creativity often consists of merely turning up what is already there. Did you know that right and left shoes were thought up only a little more than a century ago? That's according to Bernice Fitzgibbon. That's the message this morning on creativity. Usually when you are in that moment, that feeling, when you need to step up and be extra special, do something to be recognized, for people to appreciate what your little brain or your mighty brain can do, you need to open up and make things better for yourself. Push yourself a little harder. Do the spontaneous, do the extraordinary, that extra something that you will always be remembered for. So this morning's message is on motivation, specifically for creativity. You need to have a creative sense. Always develop it well enough so you can have the ability to be extra special, stand out every morning when you wake up, when you go through that day in the office, at work, in school, wherever you are. Be creative and be special in your own way. And that was your motivational message this morning on creativity. So go out there this morning and make sure that you're doing that extra something, that extra little something special, to be creative enough to be special and recognized each and every day. My name is Francis Haban. You're live. This is the AM show on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. We'll go for a quick break. When we come back, the news is on this morning.
In the journey of Black African nations and the fight for independence, Ghana stands tall in leading the way and setting the agenda for the total liberation of the continent.
The battle
As the nation marks 56 years of independence and reflects on achievement and failures, Multi TV brings you special documentaries to chronicle Ghana's history from the 19th century to 2013.
Ghana, land of freedom.
Ghana has no money. We cannot build a bridge or make a road or give our people water or medicines without borrowing from other countries.
Before the inception of democracy, chieftaincy was there. And let's be blunt, they don't understand all the issues. It is our duty to see to it that they understand.
Join us from Monday 4th March to Wednesday 6th March at 10:05 a.m. on Joy News on Multi TV as we recount our proud history.
Forward! Ever! Backward! Never!
Imagine producing electricity from ordinary ash, building state-of-the-art homes with a cheaper building material, pozzolana produced by Ghanaians. Imagine life with a fufu pounding machine, improving an interior decoration with living room sets produced from plastic bottles. Imagine a country where everything we use is produced by ourselves, engineered by our innovations. But here in Ghana, it's hard to trace the whereabouts of inventors, and there are many innovations gathered dust on shelves. Innovation 101 takes a step ahead, puts the spotlight on our local champions. Innovation 101 on your Joy News channel.
I'll take care of you.
All it takes is letting go.
Let you down. I'll always be by your side.
It's only when you do that you truly win.
Wipe away your tears. I'll be your best friend.
That's when you experience the magic of each moment. Like it's the first time. All it takes is letting go. A great man once said, "The world is won by those who let go." At Star Assurance, we take care of the things you care about, so you are free to be all you can be. Let go and let Star. Talk to us today. Star Assurance, your solid partner.
And so I just told you, this morning we have a roller coaster for you. It's just about 24 hours to Independence Day. We'll bring you that special, as you saw in that clip, that sneak peek as to what to have tomorrow on Independence Day. There's a lot in store for you. Today the budget will be read in Parliament. We're expecting a lot based on infrastructure, education, the key sectors that everyone is expecting to hear a little bit, and an extra something, an assurance that things will be well in this year. But this morning, we'll be bringing you the news, we'll be bringing you AM Business, showbiz, lifestyle and culture. Also, my banner is going large on LPG this morning, I can promise you that. And also on AM Talk, we'll be looking at the 3 topical issues making the headlines in the papers this morning. One of them, though, is the MPP's prayer to the Supreme Court this morning, asking them for a speedy trial. We'll be going into that to find out what exactly their concerns are and the kind of release that they are seeking from the court. But this morning, just in about 30 seconds, Gifty and Apia will be joining us with the AM News. Lots to expect, lot to expect here on the show. My name is Francis Abon. Your views are welcome on Facebook, Twitter, and on WhatsApp as well.
And my name is Mama Vio Wuswawaje. It's a beautiful day. Good morning, and thank you for joining us on the AM show. We'll link up now with Gifty Ando Apia. She's got all the latest news now. Gifty, good morning.
Good morning to you, Mama V, and this is where I take over, bringing you information that you need. We call it news. Hello there. My name is Gifty Ando Apia. In our headlines for today, President Mahama pledges government support to RLG as it launches its $10 billion technology park. Kumasi rainstorm rips off roof of SHS school, rendering some 300 students without shelter. Also, school feeding program caterers make a case why no decent meal can be cooked with the 40 pesos they are paid per child. Also, away from Ghana, vote counting continues in Kenya's polls, the first since the 2007 election that claimed 1,000 lives. Let's move on to the details now. A member of parliament for Daboyaman Karigu is angry over what he said is the institutionalization of corruption at the Customs, Excise and Preventive Service. We're moving on now. The acting managing director of the Ghana Water Company Limited, Kweku Boche, has dismissed claims he has been indicted for misappropriating funds and participating in several acts of corruption. A newspaper publication on Monday reported that the acting MD, Kweku Boche, had been indicted for massive corruption, misappropriation of funds and mismanagement at the Ghana Water Company Limited. According to the publication, the act came to light following a ministerial probe initiated by the then Minister for Water Resource Works and Housing, Honorable E.T. Mensah. In response to the report, however, Mr. Boche pointed out that there has never been a probe that was set up. The minister, in his own wisdom, decided that he should set up a fact-finding committee to look into certain issues with a clear-cut terms of preference. It was not a probe. He accused the media of publishing false information and misleading reports about him. The National Petroleum Authority says distribution of LPG has begun in earnest to restore normal supply. The authority last week assured of normal supplies by close of this weekend. This is, however, yet to happen as checks by Joy News over the weekend revealed the situation is worsening. With long queues in several communities, officials of the National Petroleum Authority attributed the shortage to purely planned works at both Takoradi and Tema to ensure faster delivery of the products from the vessel to the storage. Work is expected to begin in 2 weeks on a project designed to improve Accra's drainage and sewer system. The project will separate liquid from solid waste material, which have clogged the Odor Basin. This was disclosed by engineers working on the project when Accra Mayor Alfred Van der Poel visited the site as part of his working tour of the city.
Alfred Van der Poel's first stop was the Conti project at the Lavender Hill, which is being jointly undertaken by the AMA and Zoomlion Ghana. As part of the project, the liquid and solid waste materials will be separated, with the solid waste being used for the manufacturing of fertilizer. The liquid waste, on the other hand, will be treated and used for fish farming and irrigation. Project coordinator Frederick Sunson says trials will be conducted before actual work starts in 2 weeks.
We ran a pilot version for 3 months of the same site, but in a smaller version. And we tried various things, and I think, we have to thank God that things worked out very, very well. Very, very well. As I said, where we could have problems is inside of this pump if we get stones. However, with a secondary filter we saw on the hoses, we are basically taking that option away. Trial runs before we can open up full scale. But we have tried and tested everything, and we're very, very confident, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. A second phase of the project is expected to be rolled out after the first phase is completed to ensure that Lavender Hill is permanently closed. The next stop on the mayor's tour was Kolebu, where he inspected 20 water closet facilities. The provision of these toilet facilities are aimed at halting the use of pan latrines in the metropolis. According to the mayor, 24 more water closets will be provided for the community by the end of June this year. The tour ended with the inspection of some Millennium City School projects at the Salvation Army Cluster, Dansuman Ukpoti 1 and 2, and the Kotubabi Cluster of schools. The USAID-funded 18 classroom blocks will have 36 toilet facilities, offices, a computer laboratory, and 1 library for the schools. Satisfied with the progress of work in the first 3 schools visited, the mayor said they should be ready for occupation
by the end of the month.
I am very impressed with the schools, the fact that they are nearing completion. And my only concern is this one. But the contractor has assured me that he's going to double the workforce so that we can get everybody in line, so that by the end of March, we will be where we need to be.
The mayor was also optimistic that by the end of the year, 24 more 18-unit classroom blocks would have been built to improve educational facilities in the metropolis.
And we're moving straight to the Ashanti region. A rainstorm last night ripped off parts of the roof of the dormitory at the Kumasi Girls Senior High School, rendering about 300 students without shelter. According to the school's headmistress, the uncompleted dormitory, which is a Get Fund project, provides temporary shelter for about 1,000 students. 2 classrooms have meanwhile been converted into dormitories to house the students as school authorities appeal to the Regional Coordinating Council for help. Mohammed Nuruddin has filed this report.
The sad incident which occurred Sunday night ripped off the roof on 1/3 of the building, leaving some students traumatized and stranded. All the rooms were flooded and the affected students had no choice but to give up classes on Monday to take care of their soaked mattresses, clothes and books. With their exams approaching, some of the affected students are worried they will not have books to study for the exams. At the time Joy News visited the school, some students were drying their mattresses and clothes. Headmistress of the school, Mary Kra, spoke to Joy News.
Because of the rain and the storm, the roof of this block had been ripped off. About 1/3 of the roof had been ripped off. Even though the block has not been completed, this is where we put the students because it's difficult commuting from town to the school every day, and therefore the parents prefer that they reside on campus. At least how many students stay? 300 have been affected, but the whole block contains 1,000 students.
Some affected students also shared their frustrations with the news team.
Because all my things are wet. I don't have anything to wear. All my uniforms are wet. So I have to wear this and go to the classroom.
I feel uncomfortable because I was here to study, not to, be in this mess. I don't feel good at all.
Yeah, I'm very, very sad about it. All our things are soaked and our boxes, our trunks, everything.
Just a day before the disaster, the headmistress, in her address at the school's 50th anniversary, appealed to the relevant authorities to ensure work resumes on the abandoned dormitory.
And we remain with education. Now, caterers who prepare food for the school feeding program want government to increase the amount it pays them for each child they serve. It comes on the back of complaints by some of the pupils that they stopped taking the meals because of the poor quality of food. But the caterers also say at 40 pesos a plate, it takes a miracle to serve what they offer. President John Mahama has pledged government support for the $10 billion technology park being built by RLG Communications in collaborations with computer giant Microsoft. RLG believes the project, which was launched yesterday, upon completion will provide jobs for 50,000 people who will churn out globally competitive ICT products. Hope City, as it is called, will also provide housing for 25,000 residents.
For now, it remains an empty, vast land, but RLG and their partners say the tallest building in Africa will occupy this space in the next 3 years. It will have its own educational facilities, including a university, a hospital, and any other facility expected in a modern city. At a colorful ceremony attended by some of the most important people in society and some foreign dignitaries, CEO of RLG, Roland Agambere, hoped his team will also be granted the tax holidays usually given foreign investors to enable them successfully execute the project.
Hope City, when completed, will have equipment and facilities for the design, fabrication and assembly of a number of innovative products, including those of ICT hardware and software development. Hope City will afford us the platform to bridge the gap with the rest of the international industrial community. Hope City is going to be one of the biggest economic discoveries for this country because apart from the natural resources that we've come to inherit from our forefathers, this is the thing that rules the world. Nobody here sits without a mobile phone, and there's nobody here who doesn't communicate. You can't tell me I'm going wrong in the direction where all of us live on it. So this is going to be the economic fiber. That is why I personally think that this is one of the hopes that this country would ever witness in the history of its lifetime.
He used the opportunity to announce the creation of an indigenous telecommunication operation by his outfit. Senior Vice President at Microsoft, Ali Famamwe, said African ICT experts were trooping out of the continent just like it is happening with Africa's soccer talent, and appealed to those with the technological know-how to stay and develop the continent.
We are going to be setting up an end-to-end African academy which will basically cover high-end IT skills in a combination of traditional classroom learning as well as virtual and online learning, to make sure that we associate Africa with top class skills. Suarez, do you remember that guy? Okay, what we want is to Suarez-proof our future so no one stands in our way.
Governors for Osun and Akwa Ibom states wished RLG and Ghana well in this new initiative, acknowledging the company's impact in the area of technology in their respective Nigerian state. President John Mahama said this project will complement the National Technical Pact being pursued by government in its quest to provide sustainable jobs.
Even the most oil-rich countries today are investing strongly in services and the knowledge economy. I want to assure that government will offer the necessary support to RLG and any such business entity to guarantee the successful execution of this and similar projects.
Hope City, meaning home, office, people and environment, is modeled after a typical northern family house and is symbolic of the RLG CEO's rise through poverty in northern Ghana. The $10 billion project, he says, is his contribution to making a difference in the world as a Ghanaian. Gifty Ando Apia for Joy News.
The country's 2013 budget and economic policy statement will focus on completing projects announced by government last year rather than new ones. The budget is to be presented to Parliament today by Finance Minister Seth Terkper. It will also focus on programs aimed at improving the environment for private businesses as well as infrastructure development to accelerate growth and attain economic stability. The budget will also look at ways of addressing government's rising expenditure. Mr. Terkper says the budget would prioritize yet to be completed projects over new ones. Government since the beginning of this year has been working with an interim budget which made available 6 billion Ghana cedis for its operations. This was to take care of government expenditure from January to March this year. This was to ensure that government business does not grind to a halt until the 2013 budget is approved by Parliament. I will move beyond Ghana's borders now. At least 40 Syrian soldiers and government employees have been killed in the western Iraqi province of Anbar. They are among a group who had fled across the border into Iraq to escape an attack by anti-government rebels.
Back to the border when attacked by unidentified gunmen. Iraqis are also among the dead. Syria has seen 2 years of conflict. Tens of thousands of people have lost their lives as forces loyal to President Bashar al-Assad fight those who oppose his rule. The group of Syrian soldiers and government employees had entered Iraq through the Yarubiyeh border in the northern Nineveh province over the weekend, as anti-government rebels launched an attack on the area. They were being taken to the Al-Walid border crossing further south in Anbar when they were ambushed at Akashat. The identity of the gunmen is not known. Iraqi officials have warned that the ongoing violence in Syria could spill across the border. Anbar is a province dominated by Sunni Muslims who have been protesting for more than 2 months against the Shia-led government they accuse of trying to marginalize them.
Kenyans are awaiting results in their country's presidential election after millions cast their votes on Monday, with 25% of polling stations reporting Deputy Prime Minister Uhuru Kenyatta held an early lead over his main rival, Prime Minister Raila Odinga. And that's it for me by way of news. My name is Gifty Andop, and this is where I hand you over to Mama V and Francis. Keep enjoying the show. Have a good morning.
Gifty, thank you so much. Coming up briefly is sports with Rashida Kadiri, but there's that big clash, that return leg.
Yes. United against Real Madrid tonight at Old Trafford. I'm really looking forward to it. It will be a cracker. The last time they played, I know United won the game, but they lost out in that second leg, and so they crashed out. It was a certain Ronaldo that pushed us out of that competition that time.
And he's back for the first time.
No, this is Cristiano Ronaldo. That was the original Ronaldo.
Okay, so this is another
Let's
Ronaldo.
hope this one is the fake Ronaldo and wouldn't just do us the bad harm this time around. But I'm sure the details will come up when Rashida Kadiri joins us with the latest in sports on AM Sports after just this break.
But here's the thing, you can join us on WhatsApp. The number is 0544334722, or you can just go to facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. We'll be back with sports shortly.
In the journey of black African nations and the fight for independence, Ghana stands tall in leading the way and setting the agenda for the total liberation of the continent. As the nation marks 56 years of independence and reflects on achievement and failures, Multi TV brings you special documentaries to chronicle Ghana's history from the 19th century to 2013.
Ghana, land of freedom.
Ghana has no money. We cannot build a bridge or make a road or give our people water or medicines without borrowing from other countries.
Before the inception of democracy, chieftaincy was there. And let's be blunt, they don't understand all the issues. It is our duty to see to it that they understand.
Join us from Monday 4th March to Wednesday 6th March at 10:05 a.m. on Joy News on Multi TV as we recount our proud history.
Ghana, land of freedom, toils of the brave and the sweat of the labor, toils of the brave which have brought results, toils of the brave and the sweat of the labor, toils of the brave which have brought results.
This was the night when all the dust finally settled and all of us heaved a sigh of national relief. We were tired of the oppressor's rule, and we had just been relieved of all forms of leadership that was not from amongst our own. Now we could sing a song of nationalism, the national anthem. Like the sea waves, Ghana was ready to brave all the odds and whatever stood in her way to make a statement to the world that the Africans were ready.
From now on, there is a new African in the world. That new African is ready to fight his own battle and show that, after all, the black man is capable of managing his own affairs.
Ghana's forward march after independence in 1957 rather saw retrogression and a downhill movement after the Protective Detention Act of 1958 came into force. After numerous arrests and detention of so-called enemies of the state, there was a growing dissent that led to the eventual overthrow of the founder and Ghana's first president, Osagyefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, on February 24, 1966.
Ghana is passing through a revolutionary period. We cannot, under any circumstances, allow imperialists and new colonialists to interlock with traitors in our midst to deflect us from the path of duty and progress.
The dramatic removal from power of Nkrumah's regime did not only cause international stir, but shock and disbelief, even on the local scene, owing to the impregnable nature of the president's guard. It was, however, a relief to some foreign nations who still had colonies in Africa and the Caribbean. After the overthrow, the National Liberation Council was born, with General Ankra and then Inspector General of Police as chairman and deputy, respectively.
All right, so make a date with us at 10:05 this morning as we bring you the continuation of the Independence Day special right here on this channel. Good morning, my name is Rashidat Baba Kadiri and I bring you the latest in the world of sports. So the much-awaited fight of Ghana's former champion, Agbeko, Joseph Agbeko, is still upcoming. It was supposed to be on March 8th, but then it's been postponed to March 22nd. And ahead of that bout, though, the main fighter, Joseph Agbeko, has been speaking to Joy Sports.
The biggest motivation ever, as far as this bout is concerned, it's going to, inspire me a lot. It's going to motivate me in every aspect. I'm going to be, even though I'm going into, fight and win for myself and the whole nation, it's going to, push me, push harder than before. There's not going to be any pressure. It's going to be a lot of motivation instead. Having the president, the minister and the whole nation, looking forward for your win, I think it's a big motivation, not a pressure, no.
All right, so you saw the sports minister, Elvis Afriyie-Anquah, trying to show his own skill when it comes to the to boxing, but he's also been speaking ahead of Joseph Agbeko's fight.
Our brother Agbeko is preparing for his world title fight. I think this will be the second after the professor had his boxing title in this country. It's a big event, and I want to come and see him and encourage him on behalf of His Excellency the President, that he knows that the President is behind him, the government is behind him, and all Ghanaians are behind him, and he deserves our maximum support. So my presence here is to support and encourage Agbeko and to use this platform to call on all Ghanaians from all walks of life to be there on that day to give him the maximum support. If you may not be a boxing enthusiast, but he's fighting for Ghana, he will be carrying the flag of Ghana. And when he brings glory, the glory goes to Ghana. For once, let's take our friends, our families, our wives, our boyfriends, girlfriends, everybody, let's go and watch Agbeko do us proud.
UEFA Champions League returns to action tonight with two fixtures at the Signal Iduna Park. Is Borussia Dortmund, who will be taking Shakhtar Donetsk. And the big match that everyone will be waiting for is the second leg of the round of 16 match between Real Madrid and Manchester United at the Old Trafford. And both coaches have been speaking. Sir Alex Ferguson has been speaking, and Jose Mourinho has also been speaking. Alex Ferguson is wary of the Ronaldo threat, whilst Jose Mourinho is also aware of the form in which Manchester United is in recent times. Here's a preview of both matches.
Titanic duel in the UEFA Champions League. Only this time, however, only one of either Manchester United and Real Madrid will progress into the last 8. With the tie delicately poised at 1-1, many believe the slight advantage is pointing to the Red Devils after a Danny Welbeck header handed the English side an away goal. Others will point to Madrid's attacking riches to back their argument that their team can score goals at any time. That argument further proves that when giants meet, no one quite knows what will happen. The hosts brushed aside Norwich at home in preparation for the do-or-die clash, widening the gap between themselves and Manchester City in second, and further strengthening their grip, of which will play a big role in the clash. There'll be none bigger than one Cristiano Ronaldo, who won't need more motivation to perform against his old side at his old stomping ground. He was one of a couple of Los Blancos stars given less load to take on against Barca on Saturday, having started from the bench, and will be raring to put in one of his match-winning shifts for the 9-time champions. While he brought plenty of cheer at United in his 6 years at Old Trafford, on Tuesday evening, he'll be looking to disappoint his former employers and the 75,000 fans to whom for so long he was a darling. The last Ronaldo to visit Manchester with Real Madrid left with a hat-trick, and Sir Alex Ferguson will be hoping Cristiano doesn't call upon that same spirit. Ferguson's counterpart, Jose Mourinho.
At a 33,217-seater capacity Villa Park Stadium, it was Man City who were in action against Aston Villa, with the home side Villa going down by a lone goal to nil.
Two seasons ago, shot. And it is a shot, and it gets through. And Guzan, who's done very well. Plays it short, and City continue in that vein. And Zabaleta gets in here. Oh, inside of the post. A stroke of luck for us. Short corner, 2 against 1. That shouldn't happen. Milner can hammer it here, but Toure giving him the ball. It's a great try. It was a more convenient game, connected pretty sweetly with Espan as well. And here's Dzeko, giving him too much time in the penalty area. Miller who've Weimann. Played a lot of games for the junior sides now. Clark's caught out by Dzeko here. This could be the moment of the first half, because Carlos Tevez should score, does score. And in a way, that sums up life this season for Aston Villa.
Well, I'm not sure what was going through Kieran Clark. Yes, there probably was a foul. You should never allow Dzeko to get that tight to him. And there's the composure. He nearly read it on the line, Clark.
Well, there are two sides to this story. The complaints of Aston Villa.
Second one.
Play on here with Tevez. And this could be the moment for Tevez to get the second. He's going to tee up Silva. As he know he goes for goal himself. And it was in the end. It was there to be hit. And David Silva's ball. Nasri hasn't scored a league goal.
And that's how the cookie crumbled at the Villa Park last night in the English Premiership. But Mama V, I have absolutely no doubt that United are going down tonight at the Old Trafford.
And I am not surprised that you choose to talk this way.
United are going down.
Glory,
Real Madrid are going through.
All right.
We'll see if you sing that song tomorrow morning. But that's how I wrap up on sports this morning. Coming up is a press preview.
Okay, so we'll look at the papers shortly, and when we come back, you're still on the AM show. Stick with us. Okay, so the papers are in hot, and I'll start out with the Daily Graphic on the front page. Hope City takes off. I mean, that was the biggest news yesterday, right, Francis?
Yeah, also screaming on the Ghanaian Times. Yes, it was really a good news to have, that finally Ghana is looking at building a huge technology hub that would help us build our ICT infrastructure for the best. I think it was a good deal.
Also, Supreme Court to sit March 14. You give us that info, earlier.
Yes. Initially, the NPP had prayed the Supreme Court. That's also captured in the Daily Guide, really. But I think it's an indication of the trial yet to set its proper trend and sequence when things run out on March 14. Going on to the Ghanaian Times, still has the big story on the ICT story. $10 billion Hope City project begins. Also has probe ordered into soldiers, prison officers clash, and 0.5 million youth to be trained in ICT.
All right, so this is the Chronicle, and the big story here says DCE's abandoned post to lobby President Mahama. And more wahala, TechPe presents budget today. What are you expecting in the budget? I want to know. What are you thinking?
Certainly. You can send us that message on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter. But banner headline for the Daily Guide newspaper: start the case, Nana right to court. And court chases Adenta MP. I'm wondering what that is about. And Otunfo weeps. Really? How often do you find she's weeping in Ghana? Plus, $10 billion, of course. The story is captured in almost every newspaper this morning. $10 billion Hope City takes off. Daily Guide.
All right, this is the Insight newspaper, and on the front page we have chaos on our roads. That reminds me, we'll be talking traffic pretty shortly. We have our expert Phil on location somewhere close to you. He'll give us an update on how the traffic situation is. But that's it for the Insight newspaper. You can grab it for more details.
To Raymond Archer's Enquirer newspaper, historic. Mahama budget hits Parliament today as NPP backtracks on boycott decision. Alarm blow. SHC, that's the State Housing Company MD, doles out 19,000 Ghana cedis in another moot deal. And President launches $10 billion RLG project. Also has junior high school students caught with a pistol. I'm wondering what a student like that will be doing with a pistol. And President has shown leadership. That's according to the Transport Minister, Jifa Ativo. And Amafio fires back. I'm wondering who he's firing at. And Ghanaian-owned multi-purpose cargo shipping vessel launched. That's for the Inquiry newspaper.
Okay, so this is the New Independent newspaper, and the money is saying it big. They actually said it on Joy FM yesterday in the morning. 3 billion Chinese loan won't come, says Imani.
That's quite a shocker, really, because it's one of the most talked about loan agreements that government is really looking out for to help revamp.
And I'm wondering what government has said on this.
Well, we do know that they were dispatching a team to China to negotiate for the disbursement of this loan. But speaking to Bright Simmons yesterday on Joy FM, he indicated that there were 4 things that government needed to do, not just go for the negotiation that they are planning for, but certain key things need to be done to make sure that the loan comes through in fine fashion, and they rather call the negotiation talks cosmetic.
And let me just say that Kwesi Pratt also chastises government over alleged overspeeding. That's also on the front page of the New Independent newspaper.
Okay, so to the local Red Stars Kotoko Express Africa Club of the Century. Headline, Kotoko back from Malabo. Has a fine picture of the gentleman already smiling. Ecstatic Kotoko players. Pretty happy about their 8-0 aggregate they had. And also, next is Algeria. Has a picture of the Kotoko chairman, Dr. Keke Sapong, telling Rashid Soumaila and Ben Adama to give him more of the performance exhibited in Malabo. So good news coming through for Krobia, Kumasi, Asante Kotoko.
Okay, are we getting a new coach? As in the Black Stars?
Never heard of that. That would be a shocker then.
Well, that's what the Multisport's saying, with an exclamation mark there. So, new coach for Stars. We don't know about that. And I don't know why they would say Ronaldo to break down United's hearts.
I'm
I think
sure
it should be the other way.
No. Well, the pundits say he will be a thorn in United's flesh tonight. So, let's just see how that really pans out. But quite a number of stories that have caught my eye. I just want to take a quick peek at it. Probe ordered into soldiers' prisons, officers clash. That's in the Ghanaian Times. Story reads, the Municipal Chief Executive of Yendi, Mr. Issa Zakari, has condemned a scuffle which broke out between military personnel and prison officers on Saturday during the friendly soccer match for security personnel in the area. He described the incident as regrettable and warned that the offenders will be brought to book after investigations to forestall any future clashes between the security forces. It's pretty sad to find security forces actually having a go and fight.
And when I heard that story the first time over the weekend,
Yes.
I thought, okay, shouldn't they be the ones protecting ordinary people when they decide to do that?
Really caught fighting. I don't know if this time will allow. Let me read a quick of the banner headline for the Daily Guide newspaper. Start the case. Nana writes to court. Just a quick one. Story by Halifax Ansa Ado and William Yawu. So the legal team of the NPP's 2012 presidential candidate Nana Akufo-Addo and two other party big shots challenging the validity of the Electoral Commission's declaration of John Mahama as winner of the December 2012 polls yesterday filed an application asking the Supreme Court to set out directives for the trial to commence. The legal team in its application further prayed the court to give directives that 7 clear days before the trial commences, it should be furnished with the list of all witnesses plus a brief summary of the nature and relevance of each witness testimony. It also goes on to say that they are praying the court that they could use audio-visual aids standing in for evidence. So I'm sure the date set is March 14. The Supreme Court will officially open the case for the petitioners, and then the respondents will also go to and argue on the case in court. I'm wondering what a fiery case that will be in court. I'm sure the whole of Ghana will be keenly watching, listening, and reading off the papers as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll be having a bigger discussion on this later on the show on AM Talk at 8 o'clock. My guest will be seated in the studio and have the big discussion. But today, I know you have a banner. What's on the banner today?
I want to talk LPG. I told you before, my cylinder has been queuing for the past 2 weeks somewhere in the Audome Estates.
Okay.
It's still in line, and I don't know why I still do not have
How do you manage
LPG gas. I mean, I'm managing. It's very tricky. Now you have to use the microwave for a lot of things, and you know electricity is also not stable.
Yeah.
So you can imagine how many. I don't, do you have gas?
Yeah, I have a little in my cylinder.
Okay, I mean you're a guy, so
yeah, I have a little. I don't really cook as much as you do. So yeah, but tough one though. Who are we speaking to this morning?
I will talk to Dr. Charles Rekobobe on the phone line, and then of course we have to talk to the MPA, the National Petroleum Authority. So we'll talk to Yara Kasambata, who is a public relations officer. They did assure us that last Saturday we would have gas. Saturday, Sunday, Monday is a Tuesday.
Well, this morning on the AM News, Gifty was indicating that they have already started the supply. I'm wondering what took them so long. So I'm sure we'll be asking
but
those
I
questions.
think the difficulty is, okay, you said you have started the distribution. Why don't we still have the gas?
That's the problem, though. I'm sure your guest will be on the hottest paniado you can have this morning on my banner.
Yeah.
So stick and stay. We have a jam-packed show for you this morning. It's heavy. I'm sure you might be carrying it off to work. You have to stay with us here on the AM show because we are giving you a reason to wake up every morning full of what do I call it? Pump and adrenaline, the right for us to be in the right frame of mind for your day, isn't it?
Yeah. But you know what? I want to know where you are. Do you have gas? Tell me the area and the challenges that you're having in trying to get gas. WhatsApp me. The number is 0544334722. Or you can go to Facebook/Joy News on TV or send me a text on 1760 on all networks.
Let me not cut you. There's this interesting cartoon in the Daily Guide newspaper.
You know when you said you're going to read something from the Daily Guide, I thought you were going to go to the cartoon.
Yes, I'm sure if you buy the paper, you see it. I don't have to share it. You need to get the paper to see it. It says laptop per club. There's a man. I don't really know who he is. But
doesn't he look like somebody who works with our?
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay, cool.
Says how. He's saying how. Them call me, make a talk, no clap. Waiting the be. Show love for your honorable. 1 clap, 1 laptop. 2 claps, 2 laptops. Come on, clap for me. And I think it's at school speech and prize giving day. Ayawa so Akla girls. And we say I do. That's their response. And someone is saying, clapping to me by force. Clapping to me by force.
You're clapping for a laughter.
For a wedding because I guess. So grab the Daily Guide newspaper this morning. I'm sure you see this cartoon and you will love it. Because we are loving it this morning here on the show.
We'll come back with wellness.
The journey of Black African nations and the fight for independence, Ghana stands tall in leading the way and setting the agenda for the total liberation of the continent. As the nation marks 56 years of independence and reflects on achievement and failures, Multi TV brings you special documentaries to chronicle Ghana's history from the 19th century to 2013.
Ghana, land of freedom.
Ghana has no money. We cannot build a bridge or make a road or give our people water or medicines without borrowing from other countries.
Before the inception of democracy, chieftaincy was there. And let's be blunt, they don't understand all the issues. It is our duty to see to it that they understand.
Join us from Monday 4th March to Wednesday 6th March at 10:05 a.m. on Joy News on Multi TV as we recount our proud history.
Forward! Ever! Backward! Never!
News is topical. It is the latest and most compelling of events. On Top Story, we bring you the top story, the day's leading news item in 15 minutes. It's sharp, focused, and is live
every weekday at 5:30 p.m. on Joy News on Multi TV, on radio and online.
Get the Digibox now. Visit us on www.multitvworld.com or call 0302 211 68025 for a Multi-TV accredited dealer.
You're still watching the AM show, the show worth waking up for every morning, is on air at exactly 5:50 a.m. all the way till 9. It's time for AM Wellness, and this morning we're talking health benefits of fruits. So do you know that regular consumption of fruits reduce your risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, cataract, and functional declines associated with aging? Here is Wellness Today on fruits.
Fruits are vital sources of essential nutrients which are often not present in the foods we consume daily. As a result, these nutrients, including vitamins, minerals, and essential oils, are under-consumed.
Fruits are very, very important because of their supportive role in making sure that people have well-balanced diets. When you have regular or when you eat fruits regularly, it ensures that you are getting adequate amounts of vitamins and minerals, which are also nutrients. There are two major nutrients that the body needs in little quantities. Most of the time our regular meals do not supply them. So when you have fruits at any time, whether before, during, or after meals, provided you've taken them during the day, some of them can give you all of the vitamins or minerals that you need. And those are very important for growth. So fruits are very, very important components of our diet because of the supplementary role they play.
High levels of potassium in fruits balance high salt diet to help prevent high blood pressure. They also help manage blood sugar and strengthen blood vessels, bones, nails, teeth, skin, and hair. They also contain lots of water that is needed for our body.
At the end of the day, they make digestion efficient. It helps to leave little or no room for storage of excess energy as fat and all those things. And they are very, very important in the function of the nerves, in building of certain tissues, in addition to protein and all that. So the B vitamins are also very important. And if you want to maintain a good tone of the skin, taking fruits will not be a bad idea.
Fruits are also sources of dietary fiber, providing the body with fibers that help us against fats. It also regulates bowel function and helps reduce constipation and provide a feeling of fullness with fewer calories.
Fiber slows down the rate at which the body absorbs, say, nutrients, for example, glucose. So in somebody who has diabetes, you don't want the blood to be loaded with glucose so quickly. If they eat fruits, the fiber in the fruit will slow down the rate at which the sugars are absorbed, you see. So fruits are good sources of fiber as well.
Dietitians advise that fruits should be taken daily, but eating a whole fruit is better than drinking the juice. And the advice is to take certain servings of fruit at a go, depending on one's needs.
There is no best time to take fruits, you see. To me, you can take fruits either before, during, or after meals. The reason being that there hasn't been enough studies or much evidence to suggest that when you take fruits with meals, it causes any bad effect or reactions or interactions, you see. But I would advise people to rather learn to snack on fresh fruits instead of having them during meals, for instance, so that the fresh fruit will take the place of the bad foods that we snack on, like the sugar-sweetened beverages, soft drinks, meat pies and cakes and all those junk food, you see. The benefits are much, but the quantities should be minimal. If you take banana, for instance, at a 7, like for banana shouldn't be more than 2 fingers of the small size, two small sizes. If it's orange, you just have to take like 1 medium-sized orange at a go. You see, watermelon, for instance, you take a medium-sized watermelon, divide it into about even 8, and take just 1 thin wedge at a go. Mango, you cut it. Shouldn't be bigger than the size of our usual sardine tins that we have in Ghana. And the same for pineapple and the same for pawpaw. You cut it to about that sardine tin size at a go. Depending on your weight, depending on your medical condition, you may be able to take between 3 and 5 of those small sizes of fruits in a day.
The important role fruits play in the provision of nutrients that the body requires and the prevention of various diseases are the more reasons why people should at least eat a variety of fruits on a daily basis.
So AM Wellness today on fruits, and I'm just trying to. You don't want to know why I'm laughing.
No, I want to know.
We actually saw a madman this morning somewhere eating fruits at dawn.
Which fruits?
Mango.
Is it
okay, but I don't know
mango or
what's
the ordinary mango?
Why do we call it salon mango?
I have no idea. I really want someone to tell me why we call that kind of mango salo mango. It beats me really. Salo mango. Anyway.
When was the last time you had fruit?
It's been a while.
Last time?
What? Okay, what?
Because it's from Sierra Leone.
Yeah, okay. Really. Salo mango. Salo mango.
So how do we call our local one?
I don't know if it's
just mango.
Ghana mango. I don't know. Well, so you have every reason to go out there and get a fruit this morning. It helps you. It prevents a lot of diseases. So go out there and get it right. Okay. So this morning we are moving straight into AM business now. Now, successful governments have tried to convince Ghanaians that cash is an old and outmoded way of transacting business. Now we must launch ourselves onto an e-platform. But it seems public reaction has been lukewarm at best and downright disdain at its worst. But remember today, I'll be bringing a story on that shortly, but remember today the budget will be read in Parliament. Finance Minister Seth Terkper will be on the floor to tell us what to expect in this year's 2013 budget. Ahead of that though, let's now speak to Professor Peter Quartey. He is with ISA. He joins me live this morning on the AM Show. Good morning to you, sir, and thanks for joining us on the AM Show.
Good morning. Let me also add, I am the head of economics department at the University of Ghana.
Thank you so much for that correction. So, head of the economics department at the University of Ghana, Professor Peter Quartey. Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Well, today, Finance Minister Seth Terkper will present to the House the 2013 budget and economic policy. Now, what should be the key areas we should be looking out for in this budget?
One of the major areas I expect the Finance Minister to look at is the energy sector, the energy challenges that have been with us for several years now, and I think it's about time we find solution to this problem. So, for me and for many Ghanaians, we would want to see strategies put in place to address this major challenge. Then, of course, the issue about jobs, creating jobs, particularly through the private sector, which we say is the engine of growth. So we would want to see some of the challenges the private sector is facing addressed, issues like access to affordable credit at very reasonable interest rates, issues to do with utility, quality of utility services, and many other challenges that the private sector is facing. Then lastly, we would expect that more investment is put into agriculture. We've invested in agriculture over the years, but I think we need more pragmatic approach to addressing the challenges of the agricultural sector. So it could generate the needed jobs as well. So I would love to see more investment in terms of irrigation, in terms of better inputs, access to better market, and many others.
Now, earlier on, ahead of the budget's presentation, there's been a lot of talk about the 2012 budget and how the deficit has given many cause for concern. Now, looking at the 2012 budget and looking at what will be presented for this year, what should be the lessons or what should be the critical areas that should be considered for this particular budget?
Yes, 2012 is an election year, and therefore, as has always been the case, the political or election business cycle has been with us. We tend to overspend during election years. Then, in the year thereafter, immediate year thereafter, attempts are made to reduce the budget deficit. So, I will be expecting to see a reduction in the deficit from the current over 12% of GDP to a much sustainable level. That should be done through increases in government revenue, not increases in taxes. The tax rates are already high, but increases in revenue through increasing the base by roping in more of private sector, informal sector activities. We also want to see a reduction in spending. We have started a lot of huge infrastructural projects, and I think we have to face some of these projects so we're able to accommodate them in our budget. We cannot do all of them in a year or two. So there should be some kind of target approach towards completing this project. If we do that, then government expenditure would come down considerably. Then, of course, issue of corruption. If we can minimize corruption, fill some of the holes, then we'll be able to reduce government spending.
A lot of the time, speaking of projects, yesterday Imani was strong with his appeal that governments cannot get a 3 billion Chinese loan because some pragmatic steps had not been taken and the negotiations would only prove to be cosmetic. Now, looking at this as a lesson, what then should the finance ministry or government be looking at in making sure that we get the right value for the kind of loans we even go out there and fend for?
Yes, I mean, at this point, we cannot rule out borrowing, but then we have to ensure that money borrowed are used efficiently. If we invest in a particular project, we should ensure that we get value for money. So, for me, the aid or money through contracts has to be effective. We need to invest them quite well and manage them very well as well. We can also rely on internal sources. It's not just about aid, borrowing, but we can also raise money domestically. So I think for every finance minister, the challenge is to find new ways of raising more revenue within your local economy. Then aid or borrowing becomes a complement.
Now, Professor, finally for you, there's been talks about the deficit we had for the 2012 fiscal year with regards to the budget. You talk about being prudent in spending. Government should be prudent in spending. But what should be those key benchmarks or the indicators we should be having to guide us or guide government not to overspend?
Yes, we have our benchmarks in terms of government spending as a proportion of GDP, for instance. So I think we should set targets to ensure that we don't go beyond the standard practice of, say, 5% of GDP or 6% to the maximum. So, by all means, the government will come out with its own targets, but that should be a target that we should strive to achieve. And from time to time, there should be some monitoring mechanism put in place to ensure that we do not overshoot the target.
Because speaking of that, yesterday the former Minister of State at the Finance Ministry, Dr. Anthony Akotose, said that Ghana's economy is already in a ditch after the huge debts piled up in just 4 years by the NDC government. Are we really in a ditch? Is Ghana's economy in a ditch?
I won't describe it as a ditch. I would say the debt levels have increased considerably compared to previous years. Both public and private debts have increased considerably, and particularly in this election year, and it calls for concern. But I wouldn't use the term ditch because I don't know the extent to which it meant by economy is in a ditch.
All right, many thanks to you, Professor Peter Quartey, for speaking to us this morning on the AM show. Have a great day.
Thank you.
All right, that was Professor Peter Quartey, head of the Economics Department at the University of Ghana, Legon, and a senior fellow at the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research. Now, moving on, earlier on I was speaking to you about successive governments trying to convince Ghanaians that cash is an old and outmoded way of transacting business and that we must launch ourselves onto an e-platform. But it seems public reaction has been lukewarm at best and downright disdain at its worst. So we ask if the average Ghanaian can ever be parted from his hard-earned cash. How possible is it to view Ghana as a cashless society? Will the people ever be ready to provide abstract chips and pins, trusting that physical goods are at the other end of the transaction, or are Ghanaians more e-friendly than we realize? This morning on AM Business, we talk to players in a niche market that is online retailing and find out if there is hope for generating a mass market in e-commerce.
Ghana has spent years nurturing the dream of becoming a cashless society. We have almost all the ATMs connected. The ATMs are there. Bank of Ghana is doing its own to connect the bank's ATM. So we can say the infrastructures are there. But that is side one. The second side is adoption, which we are not there yet.
But how close are we to realizing that dream?
It's not something that would happen overnight. It will take some time, because in countries where they've started, they still are working towards it. And so you hear comments like cash light. That is to say that there will still be some amount of cash in the economy, but it will be reduced drastically.
E-banking, e-commerce and mobile money are all initiatives to move the country away from cash.
When we started, we were just doing a few transactions. By the end of last year, on monthly basis, averagely, we were doing about 1.5 million transactions. We are talking about over 50 million Ghana cedis transacted on the platform. Okay, so it tells you the amount of money people are moving for various reasons on the platform. So generally, I'll say we are making progress, and this year has also started very well. And the good thing is that month on month, we see growth.
Afrochic is an indigenous business selling ready-made African print clothes for both the genders. The company is one of the pioneers of e-commerce in Ghana. E-commerce is simply the buying and selling of products or services over electronic systems, such as the internet and other computer networks.
A lot of people don't even attempt. So people who don't even attempt because they know they are going to have to do mobile money. Then you lose some people who actually attempted or actually placed the order but never found the time to pay. So you lose another fraction of people. Then after that, there are the people who try, right? So they place the order all right. Then they say, oh, I'm going to go to the service center to pay. In most cases, they'll successfully be able to make the payment. But sometimes, they go and they say the system is down. So they'll call me back again and say, well, I went there, the system is down, what should I do now? So, you've just spent your lunch hour trying to make a payment. And I think the question that I ask myself is, even where they are successful, because they have to jump through several hoops in order to make the payment, then how often are they going to sacrifice their lunch break in order to buy clothes?
It started out as what experts call a pure click company, since it launched a website without any previous existence as a firm.
It was always more encouraging than you would have expected. So from the beginning, for example, when we didn't have a shop, the only reason we survived the first year was because we had an online shop, because that's the only way to sell the product.
Today, it is a brick-and-click company, adding a physical store to its distribution channel.
And then once we had a shop, it was even better because it means we had two places to sell. Right? It was almost like having two shops. But I think as we talked about before, the cash thing is big.
The online blog site www.internetworldstats.com published that there are about 3,568,757 internet users in Ghana as of June 2012. This is a giant rise from only 30,000 users in the year 2000, according to the same source. There is also an estimated 2 million Facebook users in the country. The total cellular and mobile voice subscriber base in Ghana as of August 2012 stood at 24,438,983, which is about 98% of the Ghanaian population, estimated as 25 million, according to the National Communications Authority. Despite these figures, it seems there is still an inherent distrust for new technology, especially when it comes to the sensitive issue of money.
You are ATM news so be a unimu ntini be a ebe ha kakra nti we ni cash ni de do ko bi betumi aboa ama weji.
But why is this so? A few years ago, in another African country, Kenya, the concept of mobile money took root and flourished. Today, our eastern neighbors are comfortable with the thought of stepping out of the house without a physical penny on them, but with money on their mobile phones. On the other hand, Ghana, who has prided itself on being a trailblazer on the continent, lags behind.
It's been quite difficult, especially in a society where people are used to holding cash, because that is when he believes that he has the money.
So what I have noticed with the switching off the cash option is that it has reduced the number of people who make the attempt to buy, because it's a foreign thing to them.
Most Ghanaians acquainted with technology will be able to easily describe the benefits of e-commerce.
At the comfort of your home, you can easily purchase whatever you want to purchase. So that can even reduce the level of traffic jam that we see in town. When you are familiar with the internet or the computer, for instance, you may not have idea about Accra, or you may not know probably Ghana, when you are living in other part of the world. But with the e-commerce, at the comfort of your home, maybe let's say you are in America or any other country or any other state, you can probably purchase what you have in Ghana. So if we can take advantage of this, the growing nature of or the fastest growing nature of the economy, then this will be recommended to everybody. And the government must take it upon itself to promote this.
E-commerce would not only boost external trade, but internally as well. It would be a quick and easy way to connect producers and suppliers all over the country. But why is e-commerce still in the crawling stage? Though there are many problems in many different areas, the primary ones are the lack of necessary infrastructure in the country to support e-commerce. Two critical issues here are online payments and shipping.
Because we ended up having to operate a delivery service, right? Because we looked around and couldn't really find any delivery courier companies that would accept cash for us. So because we had that cash, the need to collect cash from our customers, but the courier companies were willing to deliver, but it wasn't part of their value proposition. It wasn't part of their offering to also collect cash and then come back to you, right? So that was the tricky part, which I think the mobile money addresses, and maybe other payment options also might address.
Policy would pave the way, would give a lot more people the interest to invest. But if they don't see the right policies that will promote the service in place, it will be difficult for them to put money into that area.
The rise of financial malpractices, commonly referred to as Sakawa, have created a lot of mistrust in fellow Ghanaians, as well as the international community of online payments originating from West Africa, as our credit card blacklisting attests to.
I don't trust. At times someone will tell you to leave the money, the person will bring the thing to you. I don't believe in those things.
On the security side, the platform has lots of features that provides the needed security. By way of just going back to the process, the platform was duly certified and approved to be operated, which means that the central bank themselves have confidence in it.
The system should be trusted. The only problem we have is we don't trust the system. We don't trust what we have, which is very bad. So we should trust the system. We should trust what we have, because that is what we have, and nobody can promote what we have when we don't want to promote it ourselves.
A safe and secure, reliable system of online payments needs to be created, which will buttress and enable e-commerce to succeed in Ghana. Although it seems mobile money is serving as a good alternative, more needs to be done.
We all know that we've had these cards with us, but the question one wants to ask is, to what extent has it been promoted? To what extent has customers been encouraged to use it? Today, I hear most of the banks are willing to waive the ATM charges. I think this is long overdue. If customers are getting free service for using the card, then you are motivating. What you want to do is change behavior. So there must be some incentives for people to begin to change their behavior. And I think those are the things we need to look at.
Meanwhile, AfroChic and other Ghanaian businesses are drawn inexorably back to cash.
We'll see if it grows as maybe more people get used to mobile money. But I'm not going to wait until it grows. So I'm going to give the customers what they want.
Bringing cash back?
Yes, I am bringing cash back.
The future of e-commerce in Ghana is slow at best and precarious at the worst, but it is hoped that policymakers will institute the necessary changes and build structures to allow Ghanaians wider access to a safe e-commerce environment that will propel the country into the first world.
So, hoping for better times for, e-platform services, e-commerce, banking online, buying stuff, retail services online. I know it's something people are not too comfortable about. We are still yet to come to terms with it, but it's a good start. It's good. You can use it. Some have issues with its security and its implications, but I do believe that gradually we will get there. And that was your AM business this morning here on the AM show. Now, Mama V, have you ever tried buying anything online?
No.
Why is that?
Because, people can steal your cards and use it online. I mean, we've had things. Yeah. We've had so many things. I have had things, so I'm not comfortable.
You don't really trust the security of the system, do you?
I'm not exactly comfortable with, like doing business, especially money business online. Knowing that anybody can hack into your account, for instance, your email and use it if you like. So,
but we'll get there.
I think there still has to be some more education. But I like the fact that you can use your phone and do some money transaction in the comfort of wherever
you are.
And, just be assured that, okay, that person will get the money. But then again, I think about a lot of things. What if you lose your phone? What if you don't have all that security features on your phone? Can somebody easily have access to your details?
Someone would also say, let's stop looking at the minuses of the whole thing, but be positive about it to make it work. Yeah. Well. So let's think about it. E-commerce for the future. Or even building it now for tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. All right, sure. So it's about 11 minutes after 7. And if you're just about leaving home, I like to say that you might want to stay on for the traffic news. Let's see. Where is choked in the Greater Accra region? But we're going to Phil Kanano, who is our in-house traffic expert, and he's currently stationed at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. We want to know what the situation is. So, over to you, Phil.
AM traffic on the AM show on your Multi TV. This is our second day. We are on the footbridge at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle. The rain set in last night and activity on the road has rather slowed down. Traffic flowing in from the Insawam direction of the road is not too tight. But for the next 30 minutes, since this is still building up, motorists coming this way may have to avoid a tight traffic by finding alternate routes through the Aveno Junction to the North Industrial Area or further up the road through North Kanishi. The traffic is still building, yes. The weather is cool, and so the activity is not that much. Now, as we look towards the New Times traffic light, where we pitched camp yesterday, it is a bit tighter than it was. I'm sure this is due to the fact that a lot more motorists have not been able to find an alternate route because maybe they feel that today, since the weather is cool, it would be rather not too tight. For motorists coming from the Kaneshi area, in the next 30 minutes, may have to find an alternate route either through the Graphic Road or the bypass after the Obechebi-Lamte Circle. Kwame Nkrumah Circle is flooded on one side due to the rains. and it has slowed down activity around the roundabout. AM show traffic watch. Motorists coming in from Accra. From what we see where we are, it is not tight because the traffic flow would usually be heavy from either the Nsawam end or the Obetebi Lamte circle. Pedestrian activity is not that much. Like we're saying, this may be due to the change in weather. Passing through the station, the Odona station, it is not good enough. The place is very muddy, and so pedestrians are compelled to walk along the road or through the pedestrian walkway on the outskirts of the station itself. There's not much activity here as we would expect, like we're saying, because of the change in weather. This is Traffic Watch on the AM show on Your Multi TV. Back to you, studio.
Okay, thank you very much. Phil, on location at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle, but it doesn't look like there's traffic, I think because of the rain.
Yeah, I'm sure the rain got a lot of people sleeping. Or those who were scared rushed out.
Because circle, I mean, the roads are, yeah.
I'm shocked, no. I'm really shocked.
Okay, so now you know you can sleep some more and set off a bit later. All right, but we'll do some lifestyle and culture now. It may be dangerous for those who are not familiar with it. For those who practice it, however, it is fun and exciting. Fishing is a daily source of livelihood for people at Bong in the Lower Manya, Krobo districts of the Eastern region. Up next is a lifestyle segment on the AM show with Eto Namse.
Like many fishing communities in Africa, life in Bong, situated in the eastern region of Ghana, is dominated by fishing activities. Fishing is the main occupation here, spanning for many generations. Inhabitants fish mainly in the Bong River for tilapia and anchovies.
This is a business center for the fish women for here. Bong. This Bong Harbor. The women do go buy for where they have been reeling. They can't sell. Sometimes those who are around to go fishing and bring, sell to people. And they fish all the time. Fishermen go to fishing all the time. Go night and day.
Children of school-going age are not left out. They have become a critical part of the fishing business here at Bong. When the women buy the fish, they help them prune and clean it up.
Children go to school. Children, if they close, they come and do their work for women, like the way these my boys are doing here. They come and help the women. If they do it for you, then you just give them something.
You can't in a school. Class nene? Class 4. In a Tojia?
Name Tojizam. Yeah, I said, Nete. Maybe I got a tomato. Name call a tomato, Kaka, a la galenetum. The can for Kakani, me a leak, a can be a virgin ammo.
I'm a 1 hour.
Oh,
a panana and a coffee in a jago.
I was 70 years.
Vivia was 17 years. Hey! Time can a jagome, age can a jagome.
10 years.
Jagome 10 years. This is a daily activity The men go fishing and return to sell these fishes to women here, and they intend to sell it to their customers.
Seven for 30, 300,000. Each one is 6 for 300. In a bime, in a B 4, in a how we enyo. KPA. Na in a luno jack in me, and on in a tunica ye biomano.
I am a train job. I'm with the friends, you're bar. Crofon better, Nama Tramon, no frequency man, no mammy, but no their post. It depends on Mobema. We will have 5,000. We will have 10,000. We will send our shares and we are doing Mobema.
Fishing is no joke. Apart from the risk in paddling a canoe on the river without a life jacket, you are also left at the mercy of the cold weather. I tried paddling a canoe, and trust me, this is scary.
No. Oh, man. Oh. Madam, just laugh.
No. I want to get out.
Children as young as 6 who engage in fishing are exposed to the threats of drowning and the effects of harsh weather conditions. Most of the children here prefer fishing to schooling, quite a worrying trend. But guess what? This is their lifestyle and culture, and they enjoy it.
All right, so that beautiful piece by Etonam Se came to you from Kpong and is in the Lower Manyakrobo districts of the Eastern region. I tell you what, if you're not working, I mean, the weather is really, really cool. You're wondering what you can do with that tilapia, Francis. I've got ideas. I got ideas, huh? Some charcoal grilled tilapia. There's no gas, so forget about charcoal grilled tilapia with some hot pepper. And if you have yam, I mean, you don't want to work too much, so just fry some yam.
Please don't try Banku.
Gee.
It's very early for Banku business this morning. It's very early for Banku business, but pretty interesting piece there. But did you see Atonam in the canoe there?
Yeah.
Struggled with it, really. I had to go in a canoe sometime. You know, I'm a bit heavy, but sitting in a canoe is a bit interesting.
Yeah.
The way it turns, when you get to a certain point, the tide determines where
But
you
I have
go.
a different experience. I think it's beautiful.
Really?
You just need a lot of courage.
It's
And then
very
you're cool,
essential.
yeah. Once you sit in there, how do you describe a woman? How do you describe a woman fisherman?
Fisherman woman, according to Boko Manku, that's not me.
But you didn't really get what I said. How do you describe a fisherman woman?
A fisherman woman?
No, a fisherman who is a woman. That's not right.
Yeah, it's not.
Supposed to be a fishing woman.
Fishing woman.
No.
Are you sure?
I mean, a woman who fishes.
A woman. Okay, yeah. Let's stick with that for now. Okay, so logically, the night is meant for rest. That's for show business this morning. Logically, the night is meant for rest. But interestingly, it turns out to be the most appropriate time for people to let their hair down. But is that all there is to night out? How about the widely held perception that people who hang out at night are morally corrupt? Well, Gladys Oseo Uredu hit town one of these nights and came across some interesting and weird reasons why people stay up so late at night.
All work and no play, they say, makes Jack a dull boy. Joy News decided to hit town and find out how people de-stress. Some would go to the club, some would go to the beach, some would go to other social events. But we decided to find out why people do come to the nightclubs and what they come to do in there. And so you come with me into the club and we see the fun and we find out from people why they come to the nightclub.
Spending time at a nightclub can be an electrifying experience. No wonder fun lovers throng these entertainment spots to let their hair down, gyrate their waists, and enjoy the deafening sounds from the huge speakers like nothing else mattered in life. How about having your peace of mind? That is also important, right? So where and how do you experience the spirit of sanity? You will not believe where some people enjoy theirs.
I normally come here once in a blue moon to release stress. But today I'm just here. I'm just loving the way people are dancing, twisting their waist and all that.
And all that stuff. You release some tension and all that, Just have some fun, meet some girls, it's very important.
Well, just to entertain myself, like working after work, and then just club once in a week.
Every Thursday I came here to have fun with my friend. People go out because other people have stress and problems and stuff. They just go out just to be happy, make sure they are okay, and that's what I find about clubs, and I love going to clubs, trust me, it's the best in Africa.
Socialization plays a vital role in the growth of every society. But with the introduction of bars, discos and pubs, people now have more reasons to gather at a central location to drink, dance, flirt a bit and simply have great fun.
If you work hard, you play hard.
In recent times, however, the club or disco serves a dual purpose. It is not just a place to hang around or flirt, it has become a venue for celebrating anniversaries too. Stephanie Benson is a Ghanaian singer who celebrated her 45th birthday at Rockstone's office sometime last year.
Reggie's been a friend since I was 12 in my dancing days. It was only fitting that I came here, having a friend like him. And yeah, I could have done the whole dinner thing, which I'm going to do with family, but this is really for my friends and family to enjoy and relax and, just get to know each other again.
And just last Friday, Joy FM's Drive Time host, Bola Ray, also celebrated his birthday and anniversary at Traffic Nightclub in Osu. And believe it or not, some musicians see the club as a perfect avenue for launching their works.
I'm running this show on episodes, you see it? Yeah, man. So I think this is the club edition of the show.
Confidence is the founder and CEO of Aphrodisiac Nightclub in Jolu. She gives us an insight into the nightclub business.
Nightlife has come a very long way since the places or let me say pubs, nightclubs to go to. But now there's quite a lot, so you can say that the industry have actually grown.
Having been in this business for so many years, she is now used to the nocturnal life.
Well, it helps a lot that I am that I wake up like I come to life.
Some nightclubs operate throughout the week, others only operate during the weekends, starting on Fridays. People from all walks of life, clad in all manner of clothes, find their way to these entertainment centers for fun. Female patrons are the ones who drop hints they are on their way to the nightclub with their short, tight and revealing dresses, clothes you do not expect them to wear during the day. Nightclubs tend to provide the perfect ambience for singles who want to mingle. Quite often, everyone in the room is so engrossed in the moment, it becomes easy to strike a conversation or exchange numbers with just about anyone who tickles your fancy. Interestingly, no one hopes to meet their lifetime partner at the club.
Oh, no.
White hair. Oh, please. I'm sorry. No.
No. I would never want to find an actor. Oh, I know.
Oh, I'm here. I'm not looking forward to that anyway, but you never can tell. But I don't think so anyway, to be honest.
I'm about to think about that, so I don't know. My main priority is to just have fun with my friends, not to get a husband here, so.
Oh, the wife here, man, seriously. That marriage can last even a day. You just have fun here, and that's all.
Not probably, because, you know, it's meant that when you come to the nightclub and you meet a guy, that means you guys are, you know, outgoing types. You know, the guy is not good because he has left his girlfriend in the house and, you know, coming to just leave. That's it. And I don't know, they always say that when a girl comes to the nightclub, she becomes a bad girl or something. But then I see it to be very cool because you have fun, you know what is going on because you're in a youth age, you know. Yeah, that's all I know. Bye.
Gone are the days when the nightclub was the preserve of the young. It is now common to find people who are outside the youth bracket at these venues. But hey, they will tell you they are young at heart. After all, the mood here is not one for reflection, but for fun, and more fun.
Sometimes when you are home and you are bored, you need to have some little fun to get some things off your mind and, you know, happy yourself.
I party a lot, I have fun because I do work a lot at night, you understand? So when I feel free, I have nothing doing, I have fun with my friends. Just 1 or 2 bottles, you know what I mean? That's what's up.
So from all indications, the people gathered in this space called a nightclub are here to dance the night away. They will do so with hundreds of strangers, most of whom they may never meet again after satisfying their cravings for the night. Gladys Osei Oredu, Joy News.
So nightlife on your AM showbiz this morning. Pretty interesting stuff in this report. Need I say more? Mama V.
What can I say? Send us your comments on 1760 on our networks or just WhatsApp us on 0544334722 is 0544334722 or just go to Facebook/Joy News on TV. I've got some of your WhatsApp messages on gas. That's my banner this morning. My in-studio guest is Mr. Ishmael Ajekumhene, and he's with the Kumasi Institute of Technology and Energy, KITE. He'll join me shortly. We'll also talk to the Public Relations Officer of the National Petroleum Authority, Yaro Kasambata. And Dr. Charles Rekobrobe is an energy expert. He will also be joining us. It's time for my banner.